Hello, people. We are live on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Have you ever been afraid of being too ambitious? Or maybe you've aimed for something big, but then you've dialed it back because, well, what if it doesn't work out? If that's you, then you're in the right place. Hello. I'm Stephen Locke, and I help people. I help people to navigate the tricky balance between ambition and achievable goals so that they can create a life that feels truly fulfilling or a business that is thriving. Today, I'm sharing some insights that will challenge how you think about ambition, goals, and what it means to be better. Now, this for me isn't about flashy, Instagram-worthy success. I don't work in that world. It's about finding your edge. It's about leaning into that. And at the same time, staying true to your path, whatever that throws at you. One of the biggest frames that I use in my work is the idea of the hero's journey. In the hero's journey, we meet someone. It's the frame, the story behind Star Wars and the Lord of the Rings and the Iliad. We meet our hero at the beginning, they're living their life, and we find out something about them. Some event happens and they are forced or they decide to go on some kind of quest. And as they do, they meet all sorts of challenges. It might be dragons, it could be enchanted forests, mountains to climb, foes to vanquish. But there's also a version of that where it's an internal journey, sometimes called the heroine's path, where our hero has to learn about themselves. Either way, at some point, they achieve their goal, they find their reward, they slay the dragon, and they return home. In order to go on a hero's journey, you need some belief and you need some ambition. And that's why you will hear me using the word hero over and over and over again. Because in every hero's journey, there is also another character. That character is Yoda in Star Wars. It's Gandalf in The Hobbit. And that character plays the role of supporting the hero on their journey. In the modern world, you might call that person a coach or a mentor. And so everything that I want to do is about helping people like you to go on that quest, to go on that journey, to really believe that they can achieve what they want to achieve. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I would love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your questions. If you drop them below, I'll see them. And then we can have a conversation. But first, one of the biggest traps we fall into is aiming for mediocrity. And we do that because it feels safe. Tim Ferriss has a really good line about this. He says, 99% of people aim for mediocrity, making it the most competitive space. Think about that. If you're fighting harder for smaller wins because you're afraid to reach higher. For years, I've worked with people who are incredibly talented, but they hold themselves back because they're afraid of failing or being judged. And honestly, I've been there too. The fear of what others might think is paralyzing, but it doesn't have to be. So let me ask you this. What if aiming small is actually riskier? What if the cost of holding yourself back is bigger than the cost of trying and failing? Part of the reason for doing this talk today is because I think that, especially here in the UK, there's this idea that being too ambitious or too keen is almost embarrassing. We're told to tone it down, stay in your lane, don't make a fuss. But who does that serve? Certainly not you. Mark Manson says, people will try to put the same limitations on you that they put on themselves. Again, let that sink in. When someone says you're aiming too high, it's usually because your ambition highlights their lack of effort. That's not about you. I've noticed this in my own life. Whenever I've pushed for something bold, there's always been someone saying, "Are you sure you can pull that off?" It's not easy to shrug off those comments. And they're not even comments sometimes. Sometimes it's just a feeling. But every time I have ignored it, and I think I have a gift for being able to ignore it, I've grown more than I thought possible. There's a frustrating dynamic that I see with the highly competent people that I work with, is that they often struggle with confidence when it comes to their ambition. Meanwhile, someone with half their talent, but 10 times the self-belief, is out there making moves and achieving what they want. You've probably seen this in your own life, right? And let's face it, LinkedIn and YouTube are awash with people like that. But this lack of confidence, it becomes a speed limiter. It slows you down. It makes you second guess yourself. And it stops you from taking risks. Worse than that, it robs you of the joy you should feel when you achieve something amazing. I remember early in my career achieving a salary level that I couldn't have imagined, and a member of my family quashing my enthusiasm immediately. That hurt. But if you look at it the other way, if you've ever felt surprised by how well something turned out, ask yourself this: what if you've been underestimating yourself all along? So what can you do to bridge the gap between your ambition and your goals? Here are 3 quick steps to get you started. Number 1, set goals that scare you a little or a lot. If your goals feel too comfortable, they're probably not ambitious enough, because it's in that stretch where the growth happens. Number 2, build a buffer against negativity. Whether it's limiting your time on social media or distancing yourself from naysayers, protect your motivation like it's fragile, because it is. For one very real example of this, in my journey from a public sector, national, stable job to what I do now, I blocked a lot of friends and family members on social media. And that's not because they don't love me, but it's because the changes that I was making highlighted things that made them uncomfortable. And I don't need that in my life. And they don't need it in their lives either. Number 3, celebrate your progress, not perfection. When you achieve something, pause and acknowledge it, even if that is just for 30 seconds on your own in your room. Don't let self-doubt rob you of that moment. If you do the opposite, you take a moment to celebrate your success and acknowledge it, you fuel your ambition more. Now, that fuel is probably a quiet ambition. It doesn't have to speak loud. We don't have to shout about this across social media, but you do need to protect that in yourself. Now, I hope you can see that ambition and goals are not opposites. They're partners. Ambition gives you the big picture, the canvas, the image of the thing that you're reaching for. And that canvas should be rich with thoughts and ideas and details. But your goals are the stepping stones that are going to get you there. The trick is to not let fear or self-doubt make those stones too small. If anything I've said today has resonated with you, take a moment to reflect. What's the one thing you've been holding back on? Share it in the comments or message me if you'd rather keep it private, but I'd really like to start the conversation. I have really ambitious goals for the next 12 months and 5 years. I'm not going to share them with you today. I have shared them with some trusted advisors and people who I know are going to give me supportive challenge. If you want to be part of that circle, send me a message and I might well tell you what they are. In the meantime, if you are looking for more insights and support on your hero's journey, check out the Hero Chronicles newsletter. You can see the name on the screen. It's packed with tools and inspiration to help you stay on track. Comes out 5 days a week, and there is an archive of many, many great coaching tips and pieces of advice that you can follow also. And stay tuned for the launch of the Hero Academy, which is something I've been working on and is coming really soon. In that, we're going to dive even deeper into unlocking your potential. So, thanks for spending your time with me today. Remember, you, we are capable of more than we think. I believe in you because you're here watching this. We are fellow travelers. The fact that you have looked at this live or this recording, seen the word ambition and said, yes, I want to know more, tells me that we are kindred spirits. And so stay connected. I believe in you and I'm here to help you believe in yourself too. So until next time, keep pushing the edge and don't let anyone put a ceiling on your ambition. Whatever it is, you can do it and you should. Thank you.